26. I am standing in the doorway, alert to danger, my gun ready. My black suit is scorched and torn. A flash burn tingles on my jaw. Dirt and chlorophyll from my march through the jungle smear my hands and face in greys and greens. And there's the otherworldly figure of the prisoner I encountered here just a few short hours ago. The Professor. Or, as he would rather be named now, the Doctor. In the centre of the room is a humanoid skeleton that held the key. It's encircled by the bones of a serpent. The journey here has built secret on secret, question on question, mystery on mystery. Only now, the man holds the key in his hand. I'm beginning to understand that as well as unlocking his memory, the key will, figuratively, unlock this world's enigma too. Professor, I begin, then quickly self-correct. Doctor, you've encountered Daleks before, haven't you? Oh yes, sir, I remember now. Many times. They are the distillation of cruelty, the epitome of ruthlessness, in a word, evil. Then how did you come to be here? His eyes are distant, looking back deep inside his newly opened cache of memory. I was wandering, lost. So horribly lost. I arrived with a companion. He fires a glance at the skeleton's arm thrust above the ribs of the snake. Have you heard of the coup de grace? Before I can answer, he adds. But then, why should you have? In torture chambers in France, the poor wretches that were broken on the wheel or the rack were rewarded, when they confessed, with the coup de grace, a stroke of mercy. That is to say, the torturer cut their throat or hacked off their head with an axe. Isn't mercy a beautiful quality, Jeremy? How does that relate to your presence here? Oh, so much. Doctor, where are you going? Time's up. We've got to save your friends. As he pockets the key, he runs back into the corridor to try the next door. It opens. Only this time there is another barrier beyond it. A dark, featureless wall. Then I look closer. Featureless apart from the faintest of round marks. The man I now know as the Doctor slips the screen from his pocket. Jommy, look. Despite a cold dread spreading through my veins, I watch the screen. I see Kai floating amid bubbles. The gun has slipped from her hands. She's limp now. Her eyes stare into the water as she floats towards the bottom of the flooded cell. Dead. That dread becomes deep heartache. My friend. My beautiful friend Kai. Then I see her blink. Bubbles escape from her mouth. I turn to the wall that runs immediately behind the open door and understand. Stand back! The Doctor does so as I fire 3 shots into the wall. It disintegrates with a roar. This is a dam burst. Water floods from the ruptured barrier in a wave higher than my head. Both the Doctor and I are swept down the corridor with the rush of water. Fortunately, it dissipates almost at once, presumably into hidden drains. Scrambling back to the cell on my hands and knees, I find Kai lying on her back in the corridor where the outflow has carried her. Wet hair is plastered across her face in a dripping veil. Her chest rises and falls as she struggles to breathe. A cough pushes water from her throat. Reaching her, I gently turn her over so she can cough the water from her lungs. The skin of her face is so cold. I pull her close to me, trying to warm her with my arms. At last, her eyelids flicker open. She's going to be all right, Jeremy, the man tells me. Now, we need to find the rest of the platoon. It's vital, believe me, vital. Now we know that they are close by, we open door after door in this section of the building. Next, we free Pup from the cell full of vicious ant-like creatures that have been trying to creep onto his feet and up over his body. After Pup is Rain. She's constantly attacked by a swarm of insects that can mold themselves into humanoid form. If anything, it's the bugs that escape confinement first. The hive again has assumed my form. My mirror image instantly melts into thousands of insects that buzz down the corridor toward freedom. I help Rain from the cell. She's panting. She can hardly remain upright. The next door opens. Philippe stands with her back to the wall that lies directly opposite the doorway, her arms flung out at either side of her, as if she's willing her hands to stick to the wall to hold her there. Her feet are twisted to enable her to stand on the narrow lip of floor that remains. Beneath her is the pit that plunges into darkness. Far below, I hear the mournful cry of some beast abandoned in the depths of its subterranean labyrinth. I grasp the edge of the doorway, then extend my hand across the void. Philippe grabbed my hand. She shoots me a look, her eyes wild with fear. Jommy, I... Then she's gone. I watch her tumble forward to disappear into the darkness below. Her scream tears at my heart. I try to pull back from the pit, stumbling as I do so. The doctor catches hold of me to save me from falling after Philippe. Immediately, he hauls me back into the corridor. A second later, the doorway closes. There's no time to grieve now. I lunge almost recklessly at the next door. It opens. There, in the cell, a bloody Captain Vey battles with a muscular ape creature. The moment I get the opportunity, I do it. Firing from the hip, I blast the monster. By the time the flash has gone, nothing remains of the creature but a smear of blackened dust on the far wall. Captain Vey staggers from the room. All he can manage to gasp is, Jommy, I couldn't fight any more. Defeat burns in his eyes. All four are exhausted. Kai sits on the floor, still regaining her breath. Water drips from her hair. Pup squats beside her. Captain Vey and Rain lean back against the wall. Captain Vey wipes blood from a deep cut above one eye. Repeatedly he shakes his head. Daleks. We just didn't know they were here in this kind of numbers. We weren't prepared. He checks the pad on his sleeve. Comlink's still down. We've got to get back to the shuttle. Then we can call down some real firepower. Burn this place to ashes. Weary to the bone, he looks at me. Jommy, good work. We lost Goldstar. Did you find Tarrant, Philippe and Disari? I'm sorry, sir. They're dead. Amatan too. The news makes him flinch. I add, Sir, the man's here with me, the one we found in the tunnel. Exhausted, the captain raises his head to see the man standing close by. I continue. He's regained his memory, sir. He says he's called the Doctor. Welcome back, Doctor. The captain manages to give the man a weary salute. It must be something to be reunited with your own past. And myself, Captain. With an effort, Captain Vey stands straight. Blood still seeps from his wounds. This is a man who was brutally close to losing the battle for his life. Doctor, have you any explanation for what's going on here? What's taking place is a vast experiment. The entire planet's a laboratory. But why didn't our probes detect Daleks in such numbers when they scanned the quadrille? Because they had expended tremendous effort and material to screen their citadel from any search by hostile forces. Now, tell me, Captain, you were captured by the Daleks? Yes, too easily, I'm ashamed to admit. They locked me in that cell. The others too, it seems. Then they tormented us for their own enjoyment. No, not enjoyment. They were running tests on you. observing how you reacted to challenges, if you survived or not. We did okay, I guess. The captain nods at me. But we weren't as successful as Johnny here. He was the only one to evade the monsters. Yes, he was the most successful, wasn't he? Something about the way the Doctor speaks the words makes me glance sharply at him. He seems to be reaching a new understanding. Captain Vey flexes the strained muscles in his limbs. So, Doctor, what have the Daleks been working on here? Tell him, Johnny. They are modifying a variety of life forms so that, in the words of one of the specimens here, they will all possess a Dalek heart. A Dalek heart? Quickly, I run through what happened to the Doctor and me on the journey here from the man's living quarters, including our fiery encounters with the Daleks and our discovery of the monstrous test specimens in the neighbouring cells. Captain Vey shakes his head. I can see why Daleks would exploit slave races on worlds they capture. But why embed their own Dalek thought structure in what, to them, are alien creatures? The Doctor's eyes are hooded, as if he is withdrawing into himself. Because, Captain, Dalek instinct drives them to invade, conquer, and occupy every galaxy, every planet, every grain of sand. They have an overwhelming obsession to possess everything that is capable of possession. Rugged though the Dalek is, it can't freely inhabit every environment. So how much better, from their point of view, if they could graft the mind of a Dalek into a fish, or a bird, or an insect, or even bacteria? That way, every living organism could become a Dalek. He gives a grim smile. A Dalek at heart. Then why haven't they unleashed this program of modification throughout the universe? Because there you have the irresistible force slamming into the immovable object. Daleks are like a virus. They have no choice but to infect the entire universe with their species. To achieve that, they must mutate in order to adapt to different environments, different atmospheres. Equally, they instinctively despise all life forms that are different from themselves, even if they vary only infinitesimally at molecular level. Ergo, they are driven to destroy or dominate any creature alien to themselves. But these Dalek-hearted creatures wouldn't be different. They would have the same goal, the same loyalties, the same craving for domination. Indeed, they'd share the same goal. But what makes a Dalek a Dalek? The mutant's physical form is different from that of a Dalek, which is not only distasteful to a Dalek's sensibilities, but dangerous too. How could something with the mind of a Dalek be a threat to the Dalek race? Now, there, as the ancient saying goes, is the rub. The Doctor rested his fingertips together as answers evolved within him. What if the Dalek experiment here is a success? Imagine if they create a being that is superior to the Dalek, more cunning, more ruthless. Imagine Dalek Imperial Command asking themselves, what if our own creation decides we are inferior to it, therefore we are to be despised and deposed? What then, So, the Daleks know they can't abandon this program of embedding what amounts to a Dalek mind in alien life forms, but at the same time they dread the possibility that their own creation will be so successful that it will eradicate the Dalek species as it exists now. Precisely. I remember a word the Doctor used earlier. You said something that was significant regarding the nature of this planet. Quarantine. Indeed, Johnny. Quarantine. The Daleks have not only laboured hard to conceal this global laboratory from the Thals, they have also gone to extraordinary lengths to quarantine the world so that their own test subjects can't escape and wreak havoc through the Dalek dominion. That's why Daleks from outside the quadrille haven't been back here for centuries? Absolutely. They're too wary of contamination. I dare say you won't find a single Dalek ship here in case any of the test subjects should escape. The Doctor nodded. The Daleks have created their ultimate weapon. Only, to quote another old phrase, they can't live with it, and they can't live without it. Bravo! Bravo! I recognize the whispering voice and whirl round. There, standing ahead of us in the corridor, is the old man with the white hair. He's applauding the Doctor's words while repeating, "Bravo! Bravo!" Well, well, well. The Doctor cracks a dry smile. I didn't think I'd see you again. Puzzled, Captain Vey stares at the old man. You know this person, Doctor? This is a non-person. It's one of the walking hives, parasitic bugs and nothing more. But I know the appearance it has chosen for its present incarnation. Head tilting, he examines the figure in its peculiar clothes. Yes, my friends, that is me. Or rather, me as I once looked. Those insects are exceedingly clever, aren't they? They managed to sift through my memories even when I myself no longer had access to them. He addresses the figure. I know why you are here, of course. Yes, the man-shaped hive whispered, pleased. I should hope you do, even though you took your own sweet time reaching your conclusions. Captain Vey asks the old man, the Doctor is right? This world is just one huge laboratory? Oh yes, he's right. The Doctor is always right. At least, he was in my day. The Doctor turns to us. You must remember that you're not conversing with a true version of my earlier self. Those insects are clever. Our friend there has his, I should clarify, own agenda. Then we need to be on our guard. Captain Vey looks round. Johnny, we have only one weapon between us? Yes, sir. Then our safety lies with you, Ranger. Yes, sir. Only I'm down to my last 2 shots. In that case, all I can ask is that when you need to fire, make sure they count. Yes, sir. The white-haired man waves us closer. His manner seems impatient, almost caustic. I've got something to show you. We moved forward, alert to any possible threat. Come along, I shan't bite. But even as the words are formed, I see his face momentarily dissolve into a mass of swarming insects, before they rebind themselves once more into the image of the white-haired man. Wait! The Doctor steps forward. Are you going to tell these soldiers, or shall I? Tell them what? You should know. Your telepathic ability is highly developed. You're reading what's uppermost in my mind right at this moment, aren't you? I prefer to show as well as tell. And now that time has come to show. With a grand, stately gesture, using both arms fully outstretched, he indicates the wall behind him. Behold! Just as we've seen sections of wall do the same before, it melts away. Only this is the full length of the wall, running perhaps 100 paces. As it melts into transparency, I see beyond it. A vast space enclosed by an arching ceiling, as if the hall sits beneath a colossal dome. Before us, the floor rises in a series of terraces. On each terrace is a line of Daleks. How many? 500? 600? I can't tell. All I know is that hundreds of eye stalks are focused on us as we stand in what was a corridor. So many. Even so, I scan the Dalek mass looking for those most senior. I'm determined to destroy one of their commanders before they kill us. Only they don't fire at us. I see the weapons of the two closest Daleks target the white-haired man. He chuckles. "Listen, my friends." He points to the man beside me, who had once known as the Professor. "Call him Doctor." He touches his chest. "Call me Dalek." As the Daleks fire at him, he merely laughs, and the insects that made him incarnate disperse in a blur into the vast hall. The Daleks destroy some of the individual insects, but I know most of the swarm is safe. It's eerie, but I still hear the old man's triumphant laughter receding slowly into the distance. I raise my weapon, aiming at a senior Dalek that displays the imperial purple blaze across its carapace. In a calm voice, the Doctor tells me, "Jeremy, don't fire. At least, not for the present." He steps toward where I stand with Kai at my side. "Don't you know yet?" The legions of Daleks gaze at us. The sense of pure hatred is like a physical force pressing at me in wave after wave of cold loathing. The power of a Dalek stare. It is debilitating. "I know I'll do my duty," I tell him. "I'll fight those monsters until my dying breath." "Those monsters, Jeremy?" "Yes." "But what about the other monster?" This strange question is enough to make me glance away from the menacing array of Daleks to lock eyes with the Doctor. "What do you mean, other monster? Isn't there another one? Where?" I glance round the massive hall, expecting to see some vast monstrosity lurking in the shadows. One I haven't noticed, but the Doctor has. "You don't really need me to spell it out, Jeremy. You know, it's the one inside your head." "Nonsense!" "The monster that for years has stood guard and won't let you do what deep down you know should be done. Must be done." "Liar!" Confused, angry, I turn back to glare at the assembled Daleks, readying myself to fire on the most senior. "Jeremy?" The Doctor's whisper is almost hypnotic. "Remember Amatan? When he was trapped inside the barrier, he was in agony. You should have ended his suffering, only you hesitated. Why? What demon inside your head prevented you from granting your friend a merciful death? Stop this! Why, Jeremy? Shut up! Look inside yourself. Find the demon. Please, Doctor, I can't! Find the demon, Jeremy. Cast it out. Then do what you know must be done. When I was a child..." "Yes?" I grimace with the pain of remembering. "No, it's stupid." "I won't think it's stupid. Tell me, Jeremy. It's the only way to exorcise the monster in your heart." Just for a moment, it seems the Doctor and I have stepped outside time and space. Part of me knows that I stand there with the exhausted and bloodied remnants of my platoon, that we're facing hundreds of Daleks. But there's another part that tells me I'm distant from this reality, that I'm in a world that consists solely of me and the Doctor. I'm aware of his eyes that seem vast, luminous, and incredibly wise. They have fixed on me with hypnotic intensity. And I know he cares about that secret shame I've locked away deep inside me, and yet I'm also transported back through long dead years to where I stand over Yo, the brown-eyed Grimp, so horrifically injured that I know it will die. In the Doctor's presence, time is fluid in my mind. It runs backward, it overlaps, present mingles with past. Jomi, he prompts gently, tell me. When I was a child, my grandfather gave me a pet. He trusted me to care for her. Only I let him down. I got careless. She was hurt in an accident, badly hurt. I knew she would die. I tried to put her out of her misery humanely. Only the harder I tried to kill her, the worse I hurt her. She would not die. Every blow, it was terrible. She just wouldn't die. And all the time, she looked up into my eyes, knowing that I was trying to stop her suffering. But I failed. She was such a bloody mess, Doctor. And so you failed, Amatan? You couldn't bring yourself to kill him, just in case you made him suffer even more? I nod. Beaten, humiliated, miserable. So miserable that I want to dissolve into the ground. Jomi, you weren't to blame. After all, how much harder is it to kill the things you love than... He glances at the Daleks. Than the things you hate. My shoulders sag. I failed, Amatan. I failed even Yo, the pet that my grandfather entrusted into my keeping. A little, good-for-nothing rock rodent that my people never, ever care about. Except you. Listen, my friend. We learn from failure. When you were a child, you failed because you lacked maturity and physical strength. You hesitated to end Amatan's suffering because you thought the same would happen again, that you'd only intensify his pain. Now, however, something tells me you won't make the same mistake a third time. Oh no! I find it hard to believe him. Almost in a whisper, he speaks into my ear. Jomi, now let us speak of other things. You saw the creatures that have been sealed away in their cells for centuries. Despite their outward shape, what are they? Dalek. Correct. And the insects that formed the figure of my old self? They were Dalek too. Good. Now, if they contain the essence of the Dalek, might one not assume that every living thing on this world, every tree, every insect, every reptile, is Dalek-hearted too? Yes. A number of the insects that formed the white-haired man stream by. There is something jubilant about the hum of their wings. Dalek-hearted insects, the Doctor breathes. The reason why they helped us, and the reason why the Daleks try to destroy them, is that they outperform their Dalek creators in this environment. Look, they're free to leave here. The Daleks can do nothing to stop them. The Daleks hate that. They fear it. His voice drops until it sounds like that of a ghost in my ear. The creatures that roam freely here are the Daleks' most successful creations. They, the Daleks, cannot contain them in their prison. The least successful are the ones that the Daleks have captured. Now, do you see? Kai looks at me, then at Captain Vey and Rain and Pup standing together 10 paces away. Jomi, the Doctor whispers. Your firearm has 2 shots remaining. You recall the agony of those creatures' existence in the cells? You recall Yo? You recall Amatan? I nod. Suddenly, he speaks out loud so that the Daleks can hear. And you recall that French phrase, that ancient French phrase I used? I nod again. Say it, Jommy. The Daleks don't understand it. Adrenaline powers my voice. Coup de grâce. Then, Ranger, do your duty. I look into my heart and know that the monster the Doctor talked about has gone. I have exorcised it. I also know that I have failed twice. But on my life, I will not fail a third time. I know what must be done. No sooner has the Doctor spoken the words duty than I spin round, raising the gun as I do so, my finger tightening on the trigger. My move is so fast that they don't even have the chance to flinch. What's more, they stand so closely together that my single shot strikes all three. In a single beat of the heart, Captain Vey, Pup, and Rain vanish in a blast of heat and vapour. Coup de grâce. The stroke of mercy. Now, my friends, my Dalek-hearted friends, will not suffer for all eternity like those tormented beasts in the cells. As the thought races through my head, I remember Yo, a dirty little animal that no one could love, until my own grandfather showed me the truth. I failed to end her suffering, but I've succeeded now. In another time, another place. The guilt I've felt all these years is leaving me. A bittersweet release, confirmed by the gentle fall of dust that is all that remains of my comrades. The Doctor looks at me. You have one shot left, Jomie. Now, the question is, what beats stronger in your chest? The heart of a Thal, or the heart of the Dalek? Kai is looking at me. Her eyes are large, frightened. Yet I know she understands what I have done. I have granted our comrades a merciful escape. The Doctor watches my face. I glance at the legion of waiting Daleks. They watch me, no doubt calculating how I will act next. Will I fire at their leader? Will I, a Dalek-hearted Thal, kill the Doctor? Will I turn the gun on Kai and myself to escape imprisonment? Seconds spin out. Even the universe beyond this domed building appears to hold its breath, waiting to see what I will do next. After all, my course of action might alter the future forever. Not only for us, but for the entire cosmos. The Doctor tilts his head as he looks at me. You were right to grant your comrades a merciful release. I'm confident that whatever you decide to do now will also be the right choice. He turns back to the Daleks and addresses them in a powerful voice that seems to carry deep into the heart of the fortress. And you know he will make the right choice too, don't you? Only you don't know what that will be, so your scientific curiosity, or is that your morbid curiosity, prevents you from acting now. This is it. This is the moment when the vast hall changes its nature. The ranks of Daleks that are lined up on tiered platforms that reach from the floor to the domed ceiling part. Smoothly, the terraces split down the centre, then the two sections glide apart, like the two halves of a curtain being opened. Sitting there, in a shadowed gulf behind the mass of Daleks, is the colossus of its species. An Emperor Dalek. Glittering silver tubes radiate from it to create a sunburst pattern that pulses with energies of incredible power. How I understand its nature, I don't know. But I do know that this colossal Dalek is feeding on the energy that should fuel the city. It is draining the lifeblood of the buildings through that dazzling array of metallic arteries into its body. Beside it is a blue box with small windows set in the upper part. Compared with the Emperor Dalek, it appears an archaic construction, an ancient artifact from another time. The Doctor follows my line of sight. The blue box? That's my vessel, the TARDIS. See the Emperor Dalek? It would dearly love to feed on its energies, just as it now voraciously bleeds its own city of power. He addresses the Emperor Dalek in a clear, confident voice. You've not been able to crack her open yet, I see. But you're attempting to harness the Artron energy that the TARDIS exhales from her fabric. Oh, that numerous effulgence you do not even understand, but crave so much it must hurt you through and through to your rotting core. I see that golden hoops encircle the blue box, not touching, but hovering close enough to be bathed by the pale blue radiance that aureoles it. Don't get too close to the old girl, the Doctor grins, perhaps knowing something that the Dalek monster doesn't. You might just get your fingers burnt. Doctor. The giant Dalek's voice isn't so much heard, but a presence that is felt. A voice cannot have colour, but this great rushing sound, like the breeze that ghosts through the dead limbs of a forest in winter, is somehow smeared with the dark thoughts that are shaped within that ominous metal shell. Doctor, you have failed again. You are mine to manipulate or dispose of whenever I choose. And you are the paragon of success, No, I think not. See, Jomi, this isn't a Dalek that moves and kills. It is an inert mass that sits and broods for centuries, nurturing its sordid little strategies. Its sole weapon is thought. Down through all these grim years, it has sat in its fortress. Here, its brain has given birth to monstrous concepts that have resulted in those sorry creatures we encountered in the cells. It squats there like a big metal toad, planning, scheming. The Dalek Emperor makes a sound that could be dark laughter. Ah, Doctor, but I have been successful. I have not merely improved this universe's tired old species. I have created a new kind of life, a superior biological system of unprecedented power and ability. Oh, immortal, indestructible, and wise, no doubt? Doctor, Doctor, Doctor. Now the creature is gloating. Even the stars will not burn forever. The universe requires intervention if it is to continue. We, the Dalek race, have the power to refuel a dying star. We will halt entropy. We will reverse decay. And we will adorn beautiful worlds with creatures that are the very essence of perfection. You mean to say that you intend to re-engineer the cosmos and all its life forms so that everything, both animate and inanimate, fulfills the Dalek creed? We are not so much conquerors, Doctor. That is a redundant phrase. Consider us conservers, protectors, guardians of both life and the very fabric of the universe. As it speaks, the metallic arteries that feed the giant Dalek pulse so brightly that I find it hard to keep my eyes open. It's like gazing into the dazzling glare of a midday sun. Doctor, it is not so much the Daleks needing the universe as the universe needing us. So, you're going to save all of creation? How noble, how altruistic. The Doctor's laugh is bitter. The sad thing is that not only do you believe that nonsense, you can't really stop yourself, can you? Your only goal is remake the entire universe, everything, planets, comets, stars, galaxies, and all the life that inhabits them. You find yourself compelled to transform it all into a Dalek.
Doctor, this is a conversation that we have enjoyed many times before.
Oh, I dare say, and many times in the future too. Sad old things, aren't we? Locked in our private little argument. You declaiming that the Daleks are so misunderstood, poor darling things, that you are fundamentally good at heart, that you want only to save us and protect the worlds we live on. And then there's me, your highness, the contemptible wanderer who flits from planet to planet stirring up trouble, who questions your plan to turn the universe into what would be one vast Dalek. Because if the whole universe was essentially Dalek, then there would be nothing for you to hate anymore. But wait a moment. That's your reason to live, isn't it? Without anything to hate, you would have no reason to exist. The Dalek Emperor's voice rises like the scream of a hurricane.
Doctor, it is you who is the disease. We create, you destroy. Why?
Because evolution is supposed to be spontaneous. Biological development is in response to environment. It is not to be dictated by a single intelligence. That's why I will fight you. That's why I will smash your evil machines. Believe me, I will do so until my dying breath.
Do not tempt me, Doctor.
Yes, I'm vulnerable to your weapons. But have you considered this? Is time running out for you, oh self-important one?
There is nothing you can do that will harm me or delay my work.
Ha! The Doctor grins. I cannot destroy you.
No, never.
Never say never, sir. I realise that, incredibly, the Doctor is enjoying this. He's grasped some truth that eludes the Dalek Emperor. Now, let me explain something. The Doctor speaks out, addressing both the Daleks and me. You understand now, Jeremy. A Dalek squad abducted you and your platoon years ago. You never arrived here today by shuttle. The Daleks implanted that memory in your mind. During all this time, they've been working on you in their laboratory. They've re-engineered your brain, embedding the Dalek psyche beneath your conscious mind. It's a sleeper device, like a time bomb, waiting to be activated when the time is right. Today, they released you and your platoon onto the planet's surface to assess how well you managed every crisis they threw in your way. Your friends failed the test, Jeremy, because the Daleks captured them. You, however, were a success. Dark laughter escapes his lips. Did you hear that, Daleks? Your creation here is a success. Now he is superior to you. He has the capacity to be your nemesis. He waves a hand toward me. Hear me, Daleks, for I give you your destroyer. A ripple of movement runs through the Daleks. The tubes that feed the Emperor Dalek flush a ferocious red. The Doctor has hit a nerve. Their mania for victory has compelled them to create the instrument of their defeat. Before they fire on me, I put my arm around Kai. I pitch us both forward so that we fall toward the floor. Not that there is any protection there from the dozens of fireballs that will rain down. But then I have my training, don't I? I have my Thal instinct for survival. I possess something more as well. Coiled beneath my conscious mind, with all the lethal promise of a venomous snake, is the embedded Dalek mind. Individually, each component of my psyche is formidable. Collectively, their power cannot be contained. So, here it is. Time for the ultimate test of my prowess. The Doctor recoils backward to avoid the concentrated firepower of the Daleks. They do not target him, so he is safe for now. I swing my weapon round as I fall. For a split second, its sight frames the Emperor Dalek. Then the muzzle of the weapon swings down to point at the area of floor that I plunge toward, with my arm tightly round Kai's waist. Cool, focused, calm. I squeeze the trigger. Torrents of pure energy blast a hole in the floor. In the split second before it can reseal itself, Kai and whatever I am becoming fall through into absolute darkness.